Right now I'm 24, but when I was 20, I got my first job as an equity analyst, and I thought to myself, maybe this is it. I just gotta trade my soul for cash, and it's not too bad. But around the same time, my dad, he worked his whole life, he did everything right, and now he is finally retired. Right as he retired, he got terminally sick, and he's okay for now. This is what the 9 to 5 does to you, and that's what I realized. That would be my future. So for that reason, everything that I had in my mind, everything that I was thinking about, but I just couldn't do for whatever reason, I just did it. And I realized, well, that wasn't it for life. You don't have to just trade your soul for cash. Now I'm 24, I make 103K solo. I was able to quit this job, now run this business that I have on YouTube as well. And I did it all while having a six pack, if you're wondering, by the way. So if you don't want to end up that guy who says to himself, oh, I should have started that business, but I just couldn't find the right time, only to retire at 65 and then die before having done anything for himself. Here are the 24 things to make it happen. Keep going for at least 24 months. Number 1 is if you have no time, commit harder. So if you think about the different things that you can spend your time on as doors. So you have like a work door, you have your job door, you have your entertainment door where you play your video games, whatever it is that you like to do. All of these are doors that you can walk through. And let's say you have a weekend, which typically the weekend is when you have your free time, when you can put in the work to actually get financially free. So usually you would want to go through the work door, right? The door that's going to build your business, build your investment strategy, get into the career that you want to. But the thing is, think about you leaving the doors open as an option. If the door is open, like very literally, if you're working, right? That door is open, it's going to be very distracting, right? Like I could walk through the door, things can kind of pass by. These are mental doors in your head. If you just have the option to play your video games, then that door is open and it's going to pull your brain away eventually. And honestly, it'll probably pull you away right in the beginning. So just from the start, just commit as hard as possible to one thing. Say like, I will only do one thing at a time. And whatever that is, it could be actually entertainment, but only have one door open at a time. And through that act of commitment, you no longer have that friction of time wasted due to doors open. And number 2 is don't shit on your 9 to 5. So all the people that I've worked with to help them get out of their 9 to 5, they always say some shit like, oh, it's always wasting my time. The biggest waste of my time is my 9 to 5. If only I had more time, if only I didn't have the 9 to 5, then I would be financially free already. I would be able to put in the work and I could just get there. But okay, I just can't do it because I have no time. And they get stuck there, obviously, because this is like a self-reinforcing loop that there is no way out of. But if you do realize, like myself, that you can use your 9 to 5 to get financially free. What does your 9 to 5 give you? It gives you money. It can give you skills if you pay attention correctly. It can give you contacts that are of people with good information. You take all these things and you use it towards whatever you're trying to build. Number 3 is your fare is outsized. So sort of like that 9 to 5 example, you think, oh, I can't leave the 9 to 5 yet because I'm going to get completely fucked over and I'm going to be like maybe homeless and I don't know what's going to happen, but I can't start this business career investment strategy because I'll get completely destroyed if I fail. But if you think about what does the actual failure look like? Okay, I fail my business. I have no money. Okay, maybe I'm homeless. Well, do you have friends or family that you could just sleep with in their house? And if you need money, if you had a 9 to 5, why couldn't you just get another one? You could easily get another one. So the fear that you really have is that you can't survive. But the reality is it is very easy to survive. Like literally just get a job at Uber or Amazon or do some DoorDash and you can survive. Of course, you wouldn't want to do that, but it is the fact of the matter is it is not a good reason to avoid at least giving yourself this chance at succeeding. And number 4, similarly on the money topic, you might still be wondering like, oh, but I need more money. And you could save more from your 9 to 5. You could try to earn more income, get promoted, find another way to make income from your business. But a lot of times these things take a long time to start. So the fastest way to get out faster, like you probably have some sort of income goal or some sort of savings goal. The fastest goal to make all those move faster is just cut your expenses. So if that means moving in with your parents again, or shacking up with a bunch of people, or reducing your food spending, like actually going and making your own groceries. Like somebody that I work with, they were spending like $1,000 a month on DoorDash alone. If you just simply cut that out and make your own groceries, $1,000 a month. And I myself, also because my dad is sick, just moved in with my parents. And number 5 is start with cash flow and then adjust. And what I mean by this is a lot of people say like, oh, what's this great SaaS I can start? What's this great product I can start? What's this great e-commerce business I can create? But the fact of the matter is, sure, all those things do work and you could make it work and people have made it work. But generally, those businesses require a bit more capital invested or a bit more time to actually build it into something that is good. So right in the beginning, it's a lot easier to just sell your time. Start with a business model that makes cash right now. And maybe, okay, you can't sell the business later on because it's 100% based on you. Like, for example, my business on YouTube, it's like 100% based on me. It's going to have zero enterprise value, but it makes me cash. And think about what that cash does for you. With cash, you have options. You can do a lot of other things. So get the cash first, and then you can do whatever the fuck you want. Don't worry about anything else in the beginning. Number 6 is set targets for time and money for the minimum viable model. What I mean by this is, while in your job, of course, you don't have a lot of time. I probably had maybe 16 hours of free time that I could genuinely use outside my job to build something else. And if I wanted to quit my job, my minimum viable income is about 20K per year. So that means I have to be able to create 20K per year within 16 hours per week of free time. If I can find a business model that can do that, or an investment strategy, or a career that can do that. Career is honestly the easiest one because it's a set amount of money and it's guaranteed. But if you find that type of model that works because you validated other people have done it, and you're able to generate that income while you're working your job because it fits that criteria. Now, once you quit your job and you have like tripled your amount of time that you can put into that model, then it's going to be very successful. And number 7 is skills over money. So a lot of people chase money. Like they're like, oh yeah, AI is trending. I'm just going to start an AI agency and we're going to make shit tons of money. And I can just like code up some shit with vibe code and I can sell it and make shit tons of money. But the problem here is usually you find somebody online and you just copy their business model because you see that it works for them. You see some big numbers. But since you're not putting really any thought into creating anything and only looking for the money, you never build up any skills. So think of it this way. It is not about what you build. It is about what you build yourself into. And then once you build yourself into the person that can generate the amount of money that you want, then that is when you're essentially built the life that you want. So get those skills first. So the root of the money is the skills. If you're not really getting it, then it is a shiny object. And number 8 is not all distractions are bad. So there are distractions, of course, like video games, and there's like different distractions like smoking crack. The smoking crack is probably a bad one because it's extremely addictive and it will destroy your life. But the playing video games, maybe not. And how you can tell the difference is it a thing where if you don't do it for a long time, it kind of creeps into your mind. It's like, oh, I might want to do that. And you start to hate your own work. Is it something that if you just did it a little bit occasionally, it will sort of get it out of your mind, get it out of your system so that you can go back and focus on your work more? If that is the case, then it's not a bad distraction. Although if you notice that it is actively pulling you away all the time, and it's easier to just cut it off, then cut it off. And number 9 is weekends are just days. Because I found that if I change the weekends at all, if I make it different from my normal routine in my normal days, that I just kind of like, I wake up in the morning, I do my morning routine, I get the work done that I need to get done. And in my job specifically, once I get the job done, maybe I'll do a little bit of work to get me out of the job. And on the weekends, same schedule. I will just wake up, do my morning routine, then do some work, and then towards the end of the day, I can't do whatever when I have no energy. If I changed up the weekends now and say like, oh, let's always add some activity or always make sure I try to relax or I have to have entertainment like everybody else on the weekend, just the fact that you think those days are different and then you break your consistency in what you do for those days, it makes it so much harder to continuously make progress because, once you fall off something, it's a lot harder to get back onto it. And number 10 is you won't miss what you delete. So when I used to have Facebook on my phone, and I never really had a problem with Instagram or TikTok because I just never really used it, but I used to have Facebook, and a lot of the times I would use Facebook Marketplace. But eventually, once Facebook added the Instagram Reels into the homepage, in Facebook, and I had to get through the homepage in order to get to Facebook Marketplace, I would somehow find myself watching Reels for like hours and hours a day. And very literally, my screen time was like 5 hours per day versus as soon as I deleted it, it dropped down to like 1 hour. And those 1 hours is just like checking emails and responding to people as I needed for my business and whatnot. And you know what? I don't miss it at all. So delete it and you won't miss it at all. And number 11 is if you can't pull out something specific, then it was useless. So just like that social media, it's the same thing for educational content. So if you watch a whole bunch of YouTube videos, you watch a whole lot of podcasts or read a whole lot of books, at the end of it, always try to think and reflect what was something specific from there. And if you can't pull anything out, even if you thought it was educational, then it was useless. Get rid of it. Don't watch that type of content. For example, news is a very good example of this. Like you can learn all you want about the Epstein files, but is any of that actually going to help you? It is not. And number 12 is if you can't find an ROI, don't buy it. Within your business, you're going to want to buy like, oh, I buy this new camera or buy this new microphone for my making better YouTube videos, making better content. And then that will make me customers faster. Or I'll buy this course and it'll solve my problems. Well, the fact of the matter is I spent $10K on a course on YouTube and it got me less views in the next 6 months than I did when I didn't have that course. So rather than buying something to say like, oh, it's just going to make me progress, have a very specific problem. If you can't think of a very specific problem that it solves, then don't buy it. Same thing for physical products. Number 13 is you find what you look for. So if I tell you to go look outside your window right now and say, how many cars are there? And you count like 1, 2, 3 cars, right? And maybe you can actually go do this. Now come back. Now don't look outside. Now tell me, how many things did you see that were made of concrete? And now if you go look at the window again and you count how many things are made of concrete, you're probably going to find way more than you could possibly come up with in your mind, unless you have like perfect memory, but I don't think you do. So if you look for cars, you'll find cars. If you look for concrete, you'll find concrete. If you don't look for it, you're not going to find it. If you're always asking yourself, what's going to happen if I fail? Or, oh, what problems will I encounter? Instead of asking, how will I actually succeed? And that will inherently avoid the problems while then actually looking for the solution. Find the solution instead of finding the failure. And number 14 is grinding alone will only grind you down. So when I was first starting out, I did monk mode a lot and I did ghost mode a lot. And I'm sure you've probably done a lot of these things. You cut everybody out of your life. You have no friends. But when you are alone, and alone is fine. But a lot of times, just imagine you get in your own head, right? You have doubt. Just like, oh, I've been working on this for like 6 months and I've seen not even a single cent out of it. Is it going to work? And maybe you'll go back into the original thought that I had when I got my first job. I was like, oh, maybe this is it. I just got to trade my soul for cash. But no, that's because you're just getting in your own head. If you had somebody there with you, that's even the most little bit supportive. Like, for example, if you wanted to start a McDonald's franchise, then you follow somebody that is very successful at running McDonald's franchises, and that'll just snap you back into reality to say like, oh, fuck, I'm just getting my own head alone. This thing does work. I can keep going. And number 15 is one aligned real person is enough. So even if you can't find somebody very specific, like in number 14, if you just find one person that is supportive, working on a similar goal as you, so like actually working on financial freedom, actually working on building a life that's better rather than just settling for whatever it is that they have, even that one person asking you a simple question like, oh, are you sure you want to do that? Could very well save you from like going off and doing some random shit for a month. And actually, if you're an ambitious dude in your 20s, you're seriously looking to engineer the exit from your 9 to 5, get true financial freedom. Most guys think you have to trade passion or health for wealth. But with my system, I literally got all of it within 24 months. And I've got my entire roadmap laid out exactly for free in my free community with all the protocols. And of course, in that community, there's people who are all serious about actually getting financial freedom. So if that is you, click the top link in the description to join. And now, number 16 is sleep is deeper than hours. So most people will say like, oh, I only slept 6 hours. Ideally, I want to sleep 9 hours, or I just want to sleep as many hours as I possibly can. And I myself, when I was extremely sleep deprived over here, I would sleep like 16 hours on the weekends to make up for all my lost sleep. But I realized since honestly, you can't get the hours anyways because you have no time already. You're already sleep deprived because you don't have enough time. So since you can't get the hours, what else can you get? You can get quality. So that's why I mean it goes deeper than hours. It very literally goes deeper. You fall deeper into sleep, which is as much quality as possible. How do you get this quality? The very basics of it is have it as dark as possible at night and as bright as possible during the morning when you first wake up. So I won't get into the exact science because I have this in other videos, but the point is first get quality, and then if you can get the quality perfect, then you can try to move and get some quantity. And then once you get that perfect, then you can go on to trying adjusting the timing. So when you go to sleep, like, do you feel more refreshed if you go to sleep earlier or go to sleep later and then wake up earlier or wake up later in the day, but still get the same quantity? And then once you get that down, then you just want to make it regular. So always doing it around the same time, and you do in that order. And number 17, you may be thinking you don't really have a goal that you can use to get out of your job or build whatever it is that you want. You don't really know what you want. So try many things, but look for enjoyment, not money. If you look for the money, it is a shiny object. If you look for enjoyment only, then you can quickly decide, maybe spend like 2 weeks doing it. You can quickly decide, okay, this is going to work, this is not going to work. And whatever it is that you do try, just make sure it is, again, hitting that criteria of the minimum viable model so that you know it makes enough money. And the only thing that's going to stop you from making that amount of money is the time it takes to build up the skills. And the only thing that's going to stop you from building up the skills, putting in the time, is the enjoyment. So that's why you quickly look for the enjoyment first. And honestly, the enjoyment part is a lot quicker to find than getting results. Most people get stuck because they look for results and they try to push for results first, or they just get baited in by big numbers. Don't do that. And number 18 is toxic people actually want the best for you. So in ghost mode, what do? You just get rid of everyone that's not related to your growth. You cut them out of your life. Same thing with monk mode. And all those people about product equity say like,
oh yeah, those toxic people, those fucking degenerates, fuck them, hate them. You know, your parents who tell you you're gonna fail, you know, fuck your parents. You just go off on your own. Just be laser focused. Use your anger and all their hate, their toxicity, and feel it towards your work.
I don't think that's a good thing, because you're essentially labeling those people as toxic, and then you're bringing that toxic into yourself, and then you pump your toxic energy into your business. If you realize, okay, well, why do your parents actually tell you like, oh, just get the job, or like, oh, 90% of businesses fail, or like, oh, why don't you just do this? You're going to make money. They're telling you that because that is what they know works, and they want you to be successful. Your friends want you to be successful, ideally, right? So they're telling you because they think it is better for you, at least in their own mind, in some like twisted way using projection and whatnot. So instead of taking it as a toxic thing, you can take the intention, which is a good intention, and then use those good intentions to fuel your actual business. Number 19 is stopping at the beginning is easier. So this goes the same for everything. If you were to go into a business and you realize like, fuck, I hate this thing, it is better to just cut it as fast as possible. Because if you go on for like another week, another month, another few months, you're going to start feeling like, oh, but I put in so much time already. I don't want to stop now. What if I just have to go a little bit more? Like, I'm just digging this hole and the diamonds are just right in the other side and I stopped right before the diamonds. You want to avoid that scenario if you really hate it, because it's going to want you to just grind through, and you're only grinding because you have grinded. That is a recipe for burnout that you want to avoid. And number 20 is maximize first, optimize later. What I mean by this is you say all the time you have no time, right? And usually the first thing that you do when you have no time is like, oh, how can I do this thing faster? How can I like do my morning routine faster? How can I do my exercise faster? How can I work faster so then I can have more time for whatever else? But the act of trying to optimize things, making it efficient, actually takes time in itself. So if you first just think about actually, well, do I even need to do this thing? And just cut it or keep it. And once you just cut all the things that you don't need, then that is when you optimize. And of course, this is something that you just have to decide for yourself. Like for me, I used to have longer hair and I would spend, I don't know, at least 30 minutes trying to make it so there's no bedhead in the morning. But now I just cut it short and it's time saved. I don't have to do that anymore. And I actually prefer it short. Number 21, outsource brain power as much as possible. So let's say you have whatever thing that is you like to work on in whatever kind of business, let's say. Within your business, there's something very specific in your business. Like you fucking hate keeping your books. You hate doing the finances. Well, if it is something that makes you hate your business, then that is probably something that you want to outsource. And this goes even further. It's not just outsourcing people, because a lot of you are probably not at that point. What do you use your brain power for? you have to process, and you have to memorize, and that's pretty much it, right? For the processing part, that is outsourcing with people. For the memorizing part, that is where you can start outsourcing right now. So what do you have to do for the day? You should outsource it to a piece of paper. What you should do every few weeks, that's like a reoccurring task, like when you should exercise, when you should eat, when you should pay your bills, when you should clean your room. Outsource all of that to your like Google Calendar, whatever kind of a reminder app that you want to use. That's what I do. And that will make it so that you can divert your brain's resources towards something else, like actively working. Number 22 is clarity kills distractions. What I mean by this is, let's say you know your current situation. You're like in your job, you fucking hate your life, you have this amount of money, you have these particular distractions, you have these particular problems that are stopping you from getting to where you want to go, like having this particular business, getting this particular income, having this amount of savings, living in this particular area. Knowing all those things clearly, think about what that does. You know, like, oh, well, I need to get this income. I need to get this savings. I need to clear these distractions. You see all the roadblocks that you need to. And of course, if you now see the roadblocks, you can see all the levers that you can pull to actually overcome it. So like, oh, I need more traffic to get this income up, or I need just to delete these things so I'm distracted. Everything that you do with clarity is tied to a result. If it is tied to a result, your brain knows that it's going to get something if they do a certain action. It's just going to do the action, and you're going to be a lot less distracted. Typically, when you're distracted, it's because you're unsure. And when you're unsure, you go to the thing that you know you're going to get for sure results in, which is whatever distraction. Like you play video games, you're going to have fun. You're going to watch anime, you're going to have an enjoyable episode probably. You go open orange YouTube, you're going to have a dirty tissue by the end of it, right? And number 23 is probably one of the most important things, is health is a priority. Because if you're dead, you can't get any work done. If you are burned out, there's no way you're going to do anything. If you have no energy, if you have insane brain fog, you're not going to get anything. If you're fat as fuck and you can barely talk on a call because just talking to someone on a sales call makes you out of breath, well, that's not going to work. So that means sleep first, exercise first, eat first as the priority before you work, no matter what. So if that means cooking the nice meal, if that means sleeping a little bit more, if that means getting the workout in, even if you get absolutely nothing actual work done during the day, then do that. Because in the following days, if you have like a 10 out of 10 energy, then you can actually get the work done versus trying to drudge through it like a 0 out of 10 energy or like a 2 out of 10 energy. You're going to put in the hours, but you're not actually getting anything done. Number 24, the most important thing is be selfish. Why? So you know those people out there who are just going and protesting and saying like,
oh, we need change. We got to change something. We got to make the world better.
And they say all these things, but ultimately, what do these protests do? And there's hundreds of people there. It doesn't do shit. It literally doesn't do shit. They just went out there for hours and hours and hours and they got absolutely no result out of it other than feeling angry about themselves. This is because these people have no influence. They have no power. They can do nothing. So that means, in terms of being selfish, think about if you're in the desert and you had water. You had tons of water because you like built an oasis. You're now able to give water out to other people. But if you're fucking dry as fuck and you have like one glass of water that's barely full, like half drank already, and somebody comes up to you and is dying of thirst, if you give them your water, you're just gonna die too. So deep down, that thought that you're thinking that money is a bad thing, for whatever reason, making profit is a bad thing, it is really not, because you can't fill anyone else's glass if your glass is not full. And actually, if you're an ambitious dude in your 20s, you're seriously looking to engineer the exit from your 9 to 5, get true financial freedom, most guys think you have to trade passion or health for wealth. But with my system, I literally got all of it within 24 months. And I've got my entire roadmap laid out exactly for free in my free community with all the protocols. And of course, in that community, there's people who are all serious about actually getting financial freedom. So if that is you, click the top link in the description to join. So those are the 24 things that made me financially free by 24. Although if you are in a 9 to 5 right now and you want more specific detail on how to get out, then you can actually watch this video right here on my more specific list of things that you can gather and things that you need to pay attention to in order to actually get out of that 9 to 5. Turn your 9 to 5 into something positive.